Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Save $100 on the Craftsman V20 6-tool Power Tool Combo Kit, now at $199. No matter what the project is, Craftsman's high-quality, high-performance products empower you to build on. Stop by your nearest Lowe's store and check out the full line of Craftsman tools today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
You're listening to Saucepans and Sidesteps.
Welcome back to the Saucepans and Sidesteps podcast, the home of all Scarlet's chat, all things Scarlets, all things West is best, all things everything, really. I am joined by Benji.
Good evening.
And I'm joined by John, making his Saucepans and Sidesteps debut this evening. Good evening, John.
Good evening. Happy to be here.
Now, you may remember John, some of you, from his appearance on the Rap podcast a few weeks ago, and this is his debut on Saucepans. So, you know, 2 podcasts, John. You'll be catching me up at this rate.
I don't know about that.
So
no one keep up with him, man.
So Benj is wearing a Scarlet's top. What vintage is that?
2017. That's the away kit.
Oh yeah, I remember now. I remember John Fox in it when we played Connacht away, and he absolutely ran past about 20 men.
Yeah. Got off Vinted. Another Vinted find.
I got one off Vinted. Can you tell us about yours? I'll show you mine and you one in a second.
Yeah. So basically, I was like, I really like that top, but they only had small. But they sent me medium and small, so I got 2 of the same.
Nice.
So if I put weight on, I can just upgrade to it. But these are quite large. I don't know if you remember these. Remember that season? Have you got this one in the red?
I haven't got this one, no.
Well, I got it in the red, the medium, and it's huge. It's like, I don't like wearing it out because it's too big for me. But,
right.
Yeah, so it's just there as a memorabilia thing now.
So I went on Vinted this week and I bought this. So I was watching, yeah, you'll have seen it because you're in the group chat, but I was watching the Champions Cup final in S4C because the Premier Sports coverage was really pissing me off with Andy Good just all wanted to talk about refereeing decisions the whole game. So I put S4C on. And after that broadcast, they had a documentary about Welsh regions in Europe. Now, I don't speak Welsh, but I was like getting bits of it, and obviously they had some guests on it who can't speak Welsh either and things. So I was able to enjoy it well enough. And they showed Scarlets get into that semi-final, I think it was against Leicester in 2006, 2007. And I was like, oh, that's a nice kit. So I've hopped on Vinted, and there we go.
There it is.
There we go.
Very
Honestly,
nice.
if you're a Scarlets fan, Vinted is your friend. Like, honestly, you can, what year? Just put the year in. Scarlets 2009, you probably get something. So it's a Cougar kit. It's obviously got the stripes, the pinstripes down it. Everything is stitched on. There isn't a single sticker on it. Honestly, lads, we are not getting jerseys like this anymore. These days are gone.
Well,
it's all over.
That's why I like this one, because the Cougar is stitched in, the badge is stitched in, and it's got the saucepan on the bottom, which is stitched in. So, because I got some Castor stuff now, and it's starting to peel off.
Oh yeah,
from this season. But last season they had it all in industrial fabric, which is fine with me. But this season, yeah. So maybe they were just like, oh, it's the last season. So, yeah, I was trying to just check it on.
Well, to mention that in a second. Are you a bit of a kit collector, John?
Not massively, but looking at those tops, I think I'm going to have to get into it.
Genuinely, on Vinted, the prices, you can pretty much get anything for 10 quid, less than 10 quid. I've got polos and stuff for like 2 quid in the past.
Yeah, under 10, easy.
So I got my son currently on Vinted at the moment.
Well, there you go. There's something that everyone can play along with at home. We will do a Vinted special episode.
We're not sponsored by Vinted, though.
Maybe we should hit them up.
But yeah, maybe.
Speaking of, this has slipped my mind. We didn't talk about it in the pre-production meeting, but no more Castor, as you alluded to there, Benj. They're gone out the door. No more, thank you. We're gone to VX3. What do we think of that deal?
Oh, it's good. I think the kit quality. I quite like the Dragons kit. So if it's anything like that, then happy days.
Yeah, they do a bit extras. John, you got any views on that one?
Well, yeah, I mean the lads rugby kit is all VX3. This top's VX3, and they're a nice fit. I do
Yeah,
like them. And again,
yeah,
you've got the stitch badges and everything.
yeah. It's from more like some of the local kits I've seen with VX3. They look really good.
They're a Welsh company, I'm told. They are a local company. I think
Yeah,
they might even be a West Wales company.
yeah. I think the Scarlets had a good deal with it. So yeah, it's good for us long term.
Yeah, I think everybody's pretty happy about that. Everyone views that as a win.
Yeah.
We're going to cover a couple of bits of news then before we get into the game review of the Leinster game. So, first bit of news is broken today. Sam Wainwright has departed the region. He's going to join Cardiff next season. Had been getting a lot of game time in recent times for the Scarlets. Second choice to Big Hezza Thomas, of course. How do we feel about that one? Big M, I can tell you, Big M, by the way, he's not dead. Don't worry, he's just on holiday. That's why I'm hosting. Um, Big M is gutted. How are we feeling?
Um, I can kind of see it. I mean, at the risk of sounding like I'm throwing shade around, especially going to Cardiff, given that they're supposedly having all these problems. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, maybe it's a case of looking for long-term stability. Well, we don't know what's happening with the Scarlets.
Like, I don't think he's had that much game time, really, is he?
I'll tell you now, because he's been, like I said, he's second choice to Henry Thomas.
Yeah.
What's his name again? Sam Wainwright. Um, so he joined us he joined us from Saracens in 2022 after because you remember he was capped by Wayne Pivac.
Yeah.
And then he's come in and he's played. Yeah, actually, he he's got more game time than you think. He's lots of match day appearances, but maybe not start. He's got one, two.
Yeah.
Well, it says at the bottom. He's got three starts, but he played in round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and quarterfinals of the URC. So it's not like we weren't using him. Overall, he's played 46 matches for the Scarlets, competitive matches.
He's a part of our bomb squad then, isn't he? He's on the
Exactly.
bench,
Exactly. And his scrummaging was coming good to the end,
Yeah.
he's maybe not known for his around the field work, but his scrummaging was his USP. But then on the other hand, you got to remember that we've had Harry O'Connor out all season with his Achilles. And if he's fit again, is Sam Wainwright in our first two choices? And I guess
No.
Cardiff would have just gone, you play for us. Because
Yeah.
he might not have the Scarlets.
Yeah. I think that's more for him anyway. I think it's more game time. Yeah, especially with, Harry coming back. I think, yeah, probably a good idea for him to go. But I don't know, there's these players now who are leaving, and I'm a bit especially when they go to Cardiff. You know.
Well,
And Sebastian's gone there as well, hasn't he?
yeah, but he's gone from Edinburgh, so he's gone via someone
Yeah,
else.
I know, but he's still a
But
Scarlet, really.
but then someone who was rumoured to be in talks to go to Cardiff and is instead staying, he's going nowhere, is Johnny Williams has
Yeah,
signed a contract extension. John, what was your take on that one?
No, I'm happy with that. He's been playing well, and yeah, we don't want to lose too many sort of the decent players. But I'm happy he's staying.
yeah.
Yeah, John,
Well, is so good this season. I think made such an impact since he's got back, and I can't remember what it was on, but the other day I think, oh, it might have been Dwayne actually was asked about Johnny, and he said, "Oh, he's in the contract room at the moment discussing it." And I was thinking, "Oh, that's a good sign that he's mentioned it." So I'm so glad because no, when they announced to leave us and he wasn't in there, I was like, "There's still a chance he's staying," because he's been such an impact player, and I feel bad for obviously Eddie, but yeah, no, he's a first team player, isn't he? So yeah, I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, same. Obviously, I'm with you. It's a shame for Eddie, but then if you want to be a top team, you need to have these options. And now, like, we can't complain about centres now going into next year, and we can't complain about back three players as well. We're absolutely stacked. My only kind of slight worry is that obviously Johnny, head of the Cool Kids table, to give him his full title, is if we then go in with these stacked positions in the backs, and then we go in because we've seen Morgan Jones has been announced as leaving as well, who hasn't played for us at all this season. So we're now light in the second row. We know that we're light at fly half as well. So if we go into next season light in those positions but stacked in others, then you got to ask the question of did we need to make a hard decision and maybe cut down on the depth of quality in some positions to make sure that we were competitive in others?
Yeah, I mean, we have got quite a few centres now, haven't we? To a point where we are lacking. I mean, if we're gonna have skip my mind, Hawkins come in as a 10, which I don't think I think we'll end up putting him a centre in the end. We're just congested in that space, haven't we? So, I mean, Johnny's gonna get picked over everyone else, in my opinion, anyway. But also, we need. I mean, we've stacked in the back, we've stacked in the centre. I just think that, especially when we go into Six Nations and international periods, then, it's good to have that depth, I guess. But, if Sammy's going, for example, we've got no one left really, have we? That's the thing.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I messaged Marta like a non way a non international selected 15.
Yeah, who is it?
And it's a struggle. You struggle to get,
Yeah.
you can name a 15 just about, but you struggle to get a 23 out of it.
It's lucky, really. We've got some foreign players because we'd be screwed otherwise,
Yeah,
Especially with the 8 going to play for Wales now. I mean, if we had any, games, we'd be screwed. If the
yeah.
Scarlets had any games, So yeah, I mean,
I
I'm
mean,
obviously glad to see Johnny staying, but yeah, we do need to spread it out a little bit.
how are we looking with the pack?
In terms
Because
of,
obviously, if we're losing sort of props and the like,
I think we've still
who have
got,
we got coming through or rumoured or?
I
no,
think
I haven't seen any rumors. No.
I think Big M will probably have more of an idea, but some academy players might be again brought up, possibly.
They take longer to develop though.
Yeah, especially the size. Like Sam Wainwright he's a big lad, isn't he?
Yeah.
What's his name? Harry.
Gabe Hawley.
Yeah, Gabe Hawley. Like, just the size isn't there yet. Do you know what I mean? And I think it'll take a few more years to like bulk them up.
Yeah.
But
Second row is the one for me. Is that
yeah,
we need to see we need to recruit a second row basically. And for all the jokes about our Scarlets don't produce second rows, well, I'm looking around. I'm not seeing one. Obviously, there's Will Evans playing in Super Rugby Cymru, done well for Llandovery, I think it was. But is he ready to really just get game time in the URC so far? Maybe we'll see a bit more of Jack Price next season. But yeah, that's the one for me. Anyway, so that's the squad then. So that's the kind of news section that we can cut there. So let's talk about the rugby match that was on Saturday. So Leinster versus Scarlets in the URC quarter-final. Leinster 33, Scarlets 21. The season is over. Let's just get the vibe. What was our vibes of the game?
Do you want to go first, John?
I mean, well, my vibe was it was really sort of edge of the seat. To be a point down at half time, I'd have taken that. I think discipline a little bit. There were some silly mistakes. Did like the way that Blair Murray was trying out for the Wales football team.
As we all do, yeah.
But yeah, it gives sort of hope going into next season from how we started the season to where we finished. But the other thing it kind of strikes me there were sort of echoes of the Ospreys. We beat them at home in the league, and then the tables turned in the cup, which, a little bit painful, but it was a good match. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, Hugh always, or both of you actually, always say about me leaving the park happy. If I was at the Aviva, I would have left happy, I would say, because before the game, I was I was quite negative, and Big M was giving me, all the positivity, and I was like, no, I don't know, I don't think of it this time around. And do you know what? I said, as long as they keep in the fight and they defend well and score some lovely tries, I'm happy. And it's exactly what happened because if you look at that scoreline, it is nothing like what everyone said. There was people at the game on Friday with the Glasgow game saying, "Oh, we're gonna go to Dublin next week," and they were like, "Yeah, so confident." And then when that game half time, I was thinking, "Oh, hang on a minute," it's and the thing is, right? I thought it was a different Leinster team, wasn't it? It was a completely different Leinster team, and we confused them and made them make mistakes as we did at the park. So to do that to the first team, I thought that was impressive. If we can build on that next season, we scored some lovely tries, defended really well, and we literally made the best team in the league panic, which is all I was asking for before the game. So yeah, happy.
We did that, and like when this try happened, with the audio listeners were looking at the Blair Murray try, the length of the field one, because we were right. I thought we were going to concede because it's very Leinster to score right on the stroke of half time. But then it kind of broke away. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, just sat on my sofa watching it, just leaning back, just like thinking the ref's going to blow a whistle any second. Like this isn't
Hmm.
happening. This isn't real.
Well,
Like
they
I'm sure
did, didn't they?
she's probably blown the whistle already, and this is going to get disallowed. And then it got scored, and it was a perfectly fine try. Of course, they had to have a couple of looks on the TMO. Obviously,
And
Welsh
he
teams.
grounded it perfectly as well, which I
Welsh
love.
team scoring in Ireland. Hang on a minute, we better just go to the TMO. I'm
Yeah,
surprised. So that was awesome. And like you said, Ben, to like get some good tries out of it. All of our tries were absolutely class.
yeah,
Like if I can find like the last one, the counter-attacking try. Like this is like a try of the season contender. Starts in our own half.
yeah.
We got dummies, we got offloads, we got a juggle of the hands. Look, if you've watched it for a second, there's even a dive pass from Archie, old school. There you go. James Lowe, don't know what he's doing. And then we got a chicken win offload from Sam Lousy, bounce off and another chicken win from Warthog, and then Johnny Williams under the sticks, boys.
Do you know when I was watching these tries, I was thinking, doesn't it resemble what we were doing in 2017? In the sense of like we could score from anywhere, and the boys knew they were there. There was passes going left, right, and centre, and the boys were there. That's exactly what we were doing in 2017.
We look like a team that enjoys playing with
Yeah,
one another.
yeah,
That's what I feel. That's why I've started enjoying watching the Scots more. And to be honest, obviously, we do the socials and stuff with this podcast. We do Twitter, we do Facebook, we do TikTok. The positivity that we're getting, the interactions from Scarlet's fans, it's through the roof at the moment. Now we've
yeah.
lost our last two games, but people are enjoying watching the Scarlets, enjoying talking about the Scarlets, backing all the players. I'm not seeing players getting pelters like they often do.
Well, after last season, it was so negative everywhere he went, wasn't it? Like there was nothing really to be positive about. People were calling for Dwayne's head. And this season now at the end, I mean, I've seen nothing on socials but positivity. And that's from not just our fans, but like the rest of the Welsh region fans. So they all said Scar's played amazingly well. You guys have improved so much this season. And literally that's all I've seen is proud of the boys, which I think we all can be at the end of this season. And that's the thing I think. I mean, I know you guys discussed the like player of the season last week, but I would say Josh McLeod because I think he's brought everyone together. And I think this season we've just seen the boys. They literally, you can see even when they're doing the drum in the locker room after, they're loving life again. And I think I love seeing that. I love seeing like, players who just want to be there. So don't think we had that last season,
Thing is, there's not really. I mean, especially the sort of second half of the season, there's not really anyone phoning it in. They're out there, they're giving it their all, and they're playing right the way through.
Yeah. I mean, look, Plumtree last week, just seeing him literally just like out on his feet, but still running into players. I mean, that's all he wants, isn't it? His players that just want to play for the team. I think, yeah, I'm very proud to be a Scarlets fan this season.
Yeah, there was a few in the game, like just to talk about a few of the specifics itself, in the game there was a few tactics, and when Dwayne Peel kind of spoke about being brave. And sometimes, you can interpret that as like almost like participation trophy, just that kind of thing. But that's not what he meant. I think what he meant was try stuff. And like, I don't know if you boys noticed, but we went through at the line out, we threw everyone right to the back, which was putting a lot of pressure on Ryan Elias, bless him. And like we were going over the 15 sometimes. So that's obviously something they've seen in analysis. They think they can target Leinster there. Did it work? Not really. Not it didn't particularly work, but it's kind of it showed how like we were that lack of fear of come on, let's give Leinster something to worry about. And we evaded, this is a statistic, 1/3 of the tackles that Leinster attempted on us, and we scored a try in all three of our visits to their 22.
Yeah.
Now you can say that 3 visits to a 22 isn't really enough, which I don't think it is. But still,
something to build on, though.
Yeah.
Isn't it? If we could do that every time next season that we get into the 22, then we'd be laughing at the end of the season,
One thing I did notice though, the substitution of Sam Costello on 60 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what was going on there.
And especially when I think it's one of the first things Johan did was like try and run it from our like trial in. And I was like, no, Sammy would have kicked this away. Please kick it away. I know we haven't even mentioned the ref, yeah.
Yeah. I obviously everyone knows that I'm a Holly Davidson fan, and
for me it wasn't consistent. And we know, right, that the Irish get the rub of the green when they're there in Ireland, but it was like not straight throws for us, but then literally they throw it straight to the player at the front of the even when it was when we were jumping for it and competing, and the grounding and the offside, there was loads of things like that, and I was thinking it wasn't the same.
Yeah, the two that I'll mention there is the grounding. It's annoying, but unfortunately, I do think that was correct because the laws say that you can use your body. It doesn't have to be with your hands. So if his tummy's touched it on the ground,
yeah,
then
but doesn't
it is technically a try.
Doesn't it like hit his elbow before hitting the body, which is then I would say is almost separation.
I don't know. I think she'd give it.
It's very technical.
She'd given it try in real time, so I think there wasn't enough to overturn it for me, unfortunately.
But then the offside, I would say it was offside because he was in the maul, and the try came from that. I mean, the way I thought about the end of the game, it should have been closer than it was by the way it was.
The not straight of the line out, that's on the AR. The referee can't see that from where she is. So that's on the AR, and it's happened literally right in front of the AR. So for him not to give it, that's a shocker. That's just not good enough. Like it's gone like if you watch it, it's like outside the outside shoulder of the Leinster players. Like it's not even close to straight.
No.
And
we jump. If we didn't jump, then fair enough because
exactly, and
that's
we jumped.
The rule, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And the one we did get a not straight given against us, which was wrong. It was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And there was the one. It was the off the ball shot by Johnny on Geordie Barrett. Geordie Barrett, by the way, didn't want to play in this game. He got that shot off Johnny Williams and was like, I didn't come all the way from New Zealand for this.
Especially he gets outpaced by Blair Murray as well.
Holly lets that go in real time. She's like, it's fine. And Leinster don't lose the ball. Leinster play on. They go through a few more phases. I think it's 30 more seconds the game goes on for, and then they knock it on. And then the TMO comes in and goes, check. I think we need to check for an off the ball shot here. You need to give a penalty to Leinster 10 meters further up the pitch instead of a scrum to the Scarlets, and it's kind of like we're not getting that call. We're just
No,
not.
no. If that happened, yeah, if it happened to us, they wouldn't have gone back for it.
Yeah.
There was a few times I saw McLeod going over to Holly and was like, "Can we have a look at that?" And she just didn't want to have a look at it. But then every Leinster one was looked at, that was the frustrating thing. They asked about the ground in, even though the ground was fine for Blair, and you could see he was fine for Blair. They checked it,
They
even
could have
though,
checked it in the background.
yeah,
There was no need to
exactly.
stop the game.
Not for her to actually stop the kick and be like, right, I'll have a look now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just silly.
Speaking of Blair, then, star player of the game should be on the British and Irish Lions tour.
Mhm.
Like the foot, he's just getting better, isn't he? Better and better, John.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I've I've not seen him really have an off match, and to not even be in sort of consideration, I think is a bit bizarre. You know, there's one Welsh player playing in the regions in the Lions, and then you got what, is it 8 or 9 Leinster players in there?
There was 10 Lions on the pitch for Leinster in this game.
Mm-hmm.
10.
10.
There's 12 in total.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And that's insane. You know, I know the national team's going through the ringer at the moment, but I don't think 2 sort of Lions is. I don't think that's a fair sort of reflection.
He could be called up. He could be called up at some point.
Well, he's taken a not fit Mac Hansen over him, and I think like any Scottish fans listening, which would be weird, but if there are Scotland fans listening, obviously Darcy Graham is probably the next cab off the rank. But I think, you know, Blair Murray in this game, 68 meters, 11 carries, like his kick down the field doesn't count as a carry because he wasn't holding the ball. But obviously 68 meters with ball in hand, 11 carries, which is the most, 8 defenders beaten. So Leinster missed 25 tackles and 8 of them were on Blair Murray. 7 kicks, 6 passes, 1 dominant hit, 1 offload, 1 line break, 1 try, and 0 penalties conceded. He's
improved since going to fullback, because I know he was saying at the start of the season, wasn't he? He was saying that's what the position he wants to play. And he's just, he's excelled at it, really. I know he's small, isn't he? But like, you know, he can create stuff from anywhere.
That is the one thing that I think he's still not safe as houses in the air. Now he can work on that, and Ellis Mee can work on that as well. But that's just work-ons, you know, that you can get better at that kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's always going to have a bit of a disadvantage with his height. It's just a fact, but it's something he can.
It's not like having Tommy in the back, is it? Because you can trust him under the ball.
We haven't even mentioned Tommy adding Geordie Barrett to his kill list for his try, just skinning Springboks and All Blacks. It's just another day in the life of Tommy Rog.
Yeah, he's been a revelation this season. He's just come leaps and bounds.
His work on for me is just get the ball more. And, you know, if you're a winger, you're going to have days where the ball doesn't come to you. But I think for us, it's just get the ball in Tommy Rogers' hands more. But Joe Roberts has finished the season in incredible form as well, I will say.
Yeah.
Can't really knock any of the boys, really. I don't think anybody played badly.
No.
Even Johan Loy played all right, which is... he did play well for the last. Didn't he? He created the last tries, didn't he?
He got kind of. He got the pass to
the pass. Yeah.
So
he was the starter.
I think just for me, and I think this is kind of the vibe around all Scarlets fans at the moment is, like I said, 10 British and Irish Lions in that Leinster 15, and we've gone there and we've looked not, you know, I think to say they're equals is a bit of a stretch. We've looked
compared to
75 to 80% as good as them.
But I
Yeah,
think
they know they had a match.
Yeah.
And I think we did like Wales proud in a sense because we were competitive with the best team in the league. So that's all we wanted this season, wasn't it? When we said we just want to be competitive, we've been competitive 90% of the time.
Hmm.
There's been a couple of games we should have done better in. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I don't think we've had any games where we thought, oh, we were terrible,
Yeah.
you know? And even when
Yeah.
we were terrible, we still weren't that far off. Do you know what I mean? Like that's always what they say about good teams. They can have a bad game but still play all right, you know. And I think that's where we are.
Yeah. It sucks that it's such a long off season. Like, I'd encourage the
Mm,
Scarlets schedule as many friendlies as possible during the summer because
yeah,
it's like not until the end of September that they play their first URC match again. It's bloody ages away.
there will
So
be some friendlies. I know they haven't announced any yet, but there will be a few.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
So I don't know. What's the closing thoughts on the season? We'll do a couple of special review podcasts to round off the season. Obviously, a little bit sad now. We don't get to watch the Scarlets again, like I said, for a few months.
mhm.
Just how will you look back on this season, boys? What will be your memory of the 24-25 season for the Scarlets?
For me personally, when you look at where they were expected to be at the start of the seasons, where they finished up, top Welsh side, um, plenty of heart, plenty of good rugby to watch, and I honestly don't think you can fault them. Going through the season, they've improved, and I think it's only going to get better next season. That could be the kiss of death, but
Yeah,
and if
we've
it is,
kept a lot
it's
of the players,
simple.
haven't we? The same team. So I mean, we've lost a few, but we can build on this, which we're coming from last season, like, anything would have been better at the end of the day. Um, but we could have been higher. We could have been top top four of the table if some of these results went our way. If we can turn them around next season, we could be top four. And when I went to the supporters meeting at the start of the year, and I think what they said was we want to be in the top eight and we want to get to, I think it was like a semi-final of the Challenge Cup. And there was a few chuckles in the room because after the last season, I think we wouldn't been close to that. But look where we are now. We went to the top eight. We went to Leinster, give them a good game. It sucks that we didn't get further in the Challenge Cup, but we Champions Cup next year, which is I can't wait for games on the park against some of the best teams in the world. So this is where we're at now. I think this is a lot more positive going into next season. Sort WRU sort this stuff out.
Yeah, well, that's it. I hope that we look back on 24-25 and say that was when we saw what this team could be. Because I
Yeah.
don't think that this is the best this Scarlets group is going to play. There's a temptation sometimes when a Welsh team does okay to say, "Oh, this is the best it's going to be." I don't think this is the
Mm.
best this team is going to be. I think this team has clear things that it can improve on, and I think that they will improve on them because with the improvement that we saw from last season to this. And even towards the end of this season as well, I think the the Scarlets, especially under Dwayne Peel so far, have been a half a season team. We either have a good first half and a bad second half, or a bad first half and a good second half. Whereas in this season, I think we got better throughout, and I think we finished the season playing the best rugby of the season. So
Yeah, I think
that's what makes me enjoy it.
yeah, I think it was someone. I think it was an interview. I think it was with McLeod actually, and it was on Jonathan on S4C, and he was saying that I think they're starting to click, and this was like a few months ago now. And I think that's where we are now. If this team has clicked the way they are, and we obviously got this majority of the same team next year, if we can keep this going, as in like the way we've been playing now, I mean, I think we just on the boil. We're not there yet. Um. So yeah, top four next year, please.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think that's a great note to end it on. So thanks very much to Benji. Thank you very much to John making his podcast debut. If you've enjoyed the show, please remember to subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, drop us a like, get involved in the comments down below. And if you're listening on Audio Film Watch, give us a 5-star review. And if you even want to help us out even more, share a link with a Scarlet's loving mate. If you fancy trying your hand at podcasting, get in touch with us at Wrap on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, wherever it happens to be. We're always looking for new presenters, especially if you are Irish or even American or South African. There's going to be loads of new shows on the channel from next season, and producer Lee is looking out for presenters all the time. So with that all said, cheers, gents. Cheers from me. Enjoy the rugby, everybody, and we hope everybody's team wins. Cheers.
That was Saucepans and Sidesteps. Please rate, review and share on socials if you can, and join us again next week for more of the same. And until then, enjoy your rugby.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.